another episode of Hot and Healthy on Snap TV, and I'm delighted to introduce you to Fran McElwain. And Fran is a health and lifestyle coach, and she helps women over the age of 40 to rediscover themselves. And she has an interesting story that goes along with that, so I'm delighted she said yes. So welcome to the show, Fran.
Hi Nicole, lovely to be here.
And your background is corporate, so this is a little bit of a shift for you.
Oh, completely. I was a hardcore businesswoman for 30-something years. Always struggling a little bit to find that sort of sweet spot of authenticity through all of that. Working in a very male-dominated arena, but relatively successful. But with success comes additional pressure. You're kind of fighting all the time. And then I decided enough was enough. I'm going to stop. I'm going to recalibrate, to have a look at my life and to work out what it is that's really, really important to me, and to start to be kind to myself, which I think is something that so many women forget to do.
Was there a trigger point? Was there something that was a catalyst for you to say, hang on, I need to stop and recalibrate?
I had sort of a number of small health issues that were creeping up on me. I had problems sleeping, I had a lot of joint pain, I had some thyroid issues, and each on its own was not terribly serious, but the combination made life actually quite hard going. So I could make a choice. Either I carried on and pushed myself, or I just kind of stepped back and thought, maybe there's another way to do this thing. So I decided to step back, and I'm lucky I had the opportunity to do that. I have a very supportive family, and I'm eternally grateful that I had that opportunity. And so began a journey. I started to explore what it was to be happy, what it meant to be content within your own body, and how to rediscover yourself and your purpose in the world. And it was very exciting, as it turned out. I mean, at a moment where for a lot of women, they are feeling invisible, they feel that they're losing their power. For me, it was the opposite. I stopped work, and then I began to find my power. And then I began to recognize the strength that we do all have as women, and how amazing we can be to each other and to ourselves. But often we are particularly unkind to ourselves.
And when you say unkind, is it within our minds, within our food choices, within our lifestyle? How do you mean?
There's all sorts of things that we do that undermine ourselves. We are very hard and critical of ourselves. We set very high standards that it's impossible to reach. I remember once getting up from my desk and going to make myself a cup of tea, and I literally, in the time it took to walk into the kitchen, I had bullied myself into tears. And I suddenly heard what I was saying to myself, and I thought, this is just ridiculous. This cannot go on. And so I went and I discovered mindfulness and developed a meditation practice, which has been a complete game changer. I could not recommend it more to anybody. And from then I moved on to exercise and yoga, and it turned out that all my ailments, my kind of aches and pains and struggles and sleeplessness, were actually signposts. They were blessings in disguise. They were showing me the way to go. And life is interesting like that. Sometimes we need to turn into our fear. We need to lean into the things that worry us the most. And if you can accept what life throws at you and embrace it, often it can embrace you right back. And you have an opportunity to discover new things about yourself and new things about the world and the people around us. And that's exciting.
So some people may be thinking, well, I'd love to do a meditation practice. It seems like there's loads of benefits, but where do you start?
Well, I actually discovered, I got into it through John Kabat-Zinn, and I liked his kind of very practical, not very ommy approach. And according to him, and what I still do, is I just focus on the breath. So it is, literally allowing yourself to be in the moment of the breath and just focusing on that, and letting all those thoughts and those worries just kind of flow by. You can acknowledge them, you can recognize them, you can say hi, but you don't have to jump on board and get involved. And that creates a lot of peace, and it creates a lot of space and a lot of opportunity to regrow and rediscover. And from that you start to learn gratitude. And that's a huge piece. I mean, if you can be grateful for the blessings, if you can be grateful for the little stumbles along the way, you can look at things from a very different and much more positive point of view. And that gratitude leads you into a sense of contentment. And once you are in that place, then you can start to work on the other issues, whether they be food or movement or whatever it can be. Because I think you need to get to the feeling before you get to the act. Right. So it's a question of attitude. But for me, I kind of blundered around and worked it all out. It took me about 3 years. There are shortcuts, and it's nice to have someone to support you through that journey. But it was interesting and exciting for me, and I would like other people to feel that sense of renewal and that sense of burgeoning, which is so powerful and so exciting.
I remember the days when I was trapped in my corporate suit and boot, and it was a mindset. It's a suit and boot mindset. It's this, I must be a certain way to be successful. I must keep going, I must keep doing. The concept that I could actually stop and not do anything was terrifying.
Completely.
I didn't want to go there. What would I discover? What if I discovered I really wasn't happy and I really didn't want to be doing what I was doing? What did that mean for my life? So I avoided it at all costs. I knew meditation had benefits. I wasn't going to do it. No, because I might stop. And there's this addiction and this glorification of being busy. Not necessarily busy on the right things, and not necessarily taking time to work out what are the right things for me, and whatever I discover is the right things for me is right for me.
I got completely wrapped up in busyness. I kind of wore my headaches and my constant colds as a badge of honour. It was a kind of proof of how hard I was working. No, completely. It's a sort of, you need to get off that particular bandwagon, and it is terrifying. I was terrified. I really went through that kind of whole, what is the point? Who am I? I had a whole role that was mapped out for me, but it was to somebody else's agenda. You're a wife, you're a mother, you're a boss, you're an employee. You're working to other people's needs. You're managing and supporting other people's issues, and it's very important. And there's, I'm not going to denigrate that at all. It has its place. But there comes a moment, I think, for everybody when you have to, sooner or later, you have to work out where you stand in all of this. And this is what I mean about being kind to yourself. That is the moment when you start to think, okay, I'm going to put some of my needs a little bit higher up the list of priorities, and we do need to take care of ourselves. Making the right positive choices, making time to do the things that we know that we should be doing. It is important because nobody wants to get to the point where just everything crumbles, and that's what can happen.
And do you have a morning practice that sets you up for success for the rest of the day?
Yeah, I always used to be very anti-rituals. I used to think of myself as a kind of creative, free-flowing kind of person. But actually, the morning is a really, really precious time to kind of set the tone for the whole day. So yes, I get up, I have my cup of tea, and that's a time for me of just gratitude, of acknowledging what I have and what I am so extremely grateful for. I then do some exercise, as much as I have got time for, but I like hard exercise. I'm not just a kind of gentle exercise person, so I exercise quite hard, and then I meditate. Maybe for 10 minutes, maybe for 20 minutes, maybe for only 5 minutes. And that just centers me for the day, helps me get my thoughts together, and then I go off and do what I have to do.
Great. And in terms, because the ex-corporate world that you were in had a certain way of believing in success and achieving a definition of success, have you redefined success for yourself now?
Yes. Success in the old days was all about material things, and we need to be able to live and we need to be able to eat. But I think there is a much more profound way to measure success, which is to do with relationships. It's to do with the relationship you have with yourself, and it's to do with the relationship you have with people around you. And sometimes when you become just, you're striving all the time to meet certain goals and to behave in a certain way, you lose touch with those relationships, particularly, I think, the relationship with yourself.
Absolutely. So in terms of holistic health and sustainable success, for the people that are tuning into the show, what would you like them to come away from this as a message to them?
Health is fundamentally important. Our bodies are so finely calibrated and such amazing machines that small things that you do can have a huge effect. Our bodies want us to be healthy, our bodies want us to be happy, and they more than meet us halfway when we start making an effort and give our bodies the tools and the support and the environment that it needs to thrive. And that means good food, lots of water, and as much movement as you can fit in.
And meditation.
And meditation.
Mindfulness. So thank you so much for saying yes to being a guest on Hot and Healthy. It's lovely to have you on the show.
Thank you.
Very calming. Very calming person. I feel so calm. It's wonderful. And how can people get more access to you? Where can they find out about you?
Yes, I would love it if people look me up on the blog. It's www.prove.co.uk, and it's all about proving how happy and healthy and content you can be.
Marvellous, and you're a very good example of that. I feel like I've just had chamomile tea talking to you.
Lovely.
It feels wonderful. So thank you very much again. I really do appreciate you
Lovely
saying
to be
yes.
here, Nicole. Thank you so much.
And thank you for tuning into another episode of Hot and Healthy. Please go to the website nicolevanhattem.com and check out the other guests we've got on the show for you, and some free things as well that you can download and enjoy. And be sure to go to Snap TV and find out all the other exciting videos that are available there and all the other exciting people you can meet. And remember to be hot and healthy. This episode of Hot and Healthy is presented to you by me, Nicole Van Hattem, holistic success coach and best-selling author, and brought to you by Snap TV. Tune into the show and listen to the people and practices that help you to think, eat, thrive.